I came across this really cool looking 2D pixel art turn-based JRPG that I think you guys are gonna love. It's got mechanics where you fuse different monsters together. It kind of reminds me of Jade Cocoon. There's like chain attacks that you do in combat, and plus it's a remake to an old DS game that never left Japan as far as I could tell. And so in this video, I'm gonna tell you all about it and why you should be excited for it. So the game is called WiZmans World Re, and it's going to be coming out in the West on February 19th, 2026 for PC, PS4, PS5, and Nintendo Switch. And like I said, apparently this is a remake of an old DS game just called WiZmans World from Jaleco. Anybody remember that developer or that publisher? And from what I could tell, it's kind of like a straight up dungeon crawler, but the combat looks super cool. As you can see in the footage, it kind of goes by fast, but from what I read in the press release and what I could figure out, it's kind of a dungeon crawler. You're running around, you're doing dungeon crawling, you're trying to get to the bottom of the dungeon. You're trying to save your sister is kind of the crux of the story. You're in this town, this dungeon appeared, your sister disappeared, and she left you these homunculi, these sort of monster girls, and you use them to try to fight through these dungeons. Now, I don't know if it's gonna get weird, you know, anything that has to do with monster girls in anime typically gets weird. I don't know if it's gonna get weird. From what I was reading and from what I could see in the trailer, it all seems tame, it all seems fine, but who knows what could happen later in the game. But the one feature that really got me excited was the monster fusing. So the way it works is you have these different homunculi and you can fuse them with monsters that you defeat in battle. And so they're constantly evolving, getting new abilities, changing the way they look. And if you're like me, you grew up in the 90s and the early 2000s, you might remember a game called Jade Cocoon, and that's what that game was all about. You would capture these monsters kind of like Pokemon style, but then you would fuse them and they would become totally different monsters. They would have different abilities, and I loved that game. And so this game doing something like that, but much faster paced, gorgeous pixel art. Like I said, this is a remake of an old DS game, and they have really enhanced the visual style. It looks incredible. And according to the press release, they said they've got tons of new quality of life features, like you can save anywhere, there's New Game Plus, there's different difficulties, there's more language options. So it should be available to a wider array of people. But like I said, I just think this looks really fun. Lately for me, I've been getting into dungeon crawlers as I've been playing these bad JRPGs. A lot of them are like dungeon crawlers or mystery dungeon type games. And I've just been getting into those. And so when I saw this, I popped, you know, I go to Gamatsu every day. I don't know about you guys, but if you don't read Gamatsu, they're like up to date, up to the minute when it comes to Japanese news, especially with JRPGs. And I was browsing, there were a ton of games revealed today, so I was just making sure there weren't any I missed that were JRPGs, and I came across this one. I'm like, I'd never heard of this. I don't know if you guys have too. Let me know in the comments if this is your first time hearing about this game, or if you know anything about the DS game. Maybe it did come out in the West and I didn't know about it. But yeah, I came across it and it just looks fun. It seems like one of those games where you just turn off your brain. The story is, it doesn't really matter. It's all about crawling through the dungeons, evolving your homunculi, getting different fusions. I don't know, I just feel like that could be really fun, especially in this gorgeous pixel art. I feel like we are in this like amazing renaissance of good pixel art with HD 2D games and all these other games, Sea of Stars, you know, really going in on it, Chained Echoes. So this game got me really excited. I definitely am planning on picking up. We don't have to wait that long. It comes out in February. So guys, let me know down in the comments if you had heard about this game before, the old version. If you're excited for this new one, I'd love to hear about it. And as I mentioned earlier, I've been playing some bad PS2 JRPGs, and some of them actually weren't that bad, but some were terrible. So if you want to see the video of me playing them all based on your recommendations, by the way, check it out right here. I think you'll have a lot of fun with it.